Ian, can I ask you, what made you want to come back after such a relatively short time out of football? Did you just get under your wife's feet?
Probably that was the case. No, it was. I wasn't planning on doing it. I wasn't planning on waiting until the summer, really. I got a phone call from Kenny Jackett asking me to consider meeting Andy and John Burleson. So I had a good chat with Ken. Asked him why he left, and he talked about being 6 years here and feeling he'd done his time and did well with the club, and he thought I would be absolutely delighted to meet these two gentlemen and work with them. So without a shadow of a doubt, I agreed to do it, and I met Andy on a Thursday, and John almost dug himself out of America when they had a 2 foot of snow and couldn't get out, so he hired a plane and then couldn't wait to meet me. So we had a meet up in London, and the chat lasted literally about 4.5 hours. It seemed like 2 minutes, and I was blown away with a couple of things, really. The pride they've got and the passion they've got for the football club, and ironically how much they felt I was the right man for the job. So not used to that, really, to be honest. So what could I do? What could I say? And then went back home and spoke to Kim, and I'm here. And it's been that quick, really. It's absolutely fantastic.
The fact that the owner was prepared to fly over, dig himself out of the snow and make it here to speak to you, that demonstrates you were really wanted here?
Totally, yeah. They also told me plan A was me, plan B was me, and plan C was me. It's nice to be honest, isn't it? So, I think I'm a bit of a different fella, really, as everybody out there knows, and some people write certain things about me, and some people find me amusing, but I'm a very serious football manager, and I want to do a brilliant job for each and every club that I work for. And talking to John and his dreams for it and what he wants for it, and I asked him why he wanted to do it, and because I still can't understand that sometimes, why these really wealthy men want to take over on a football scenario. And I thought he was so honest and forthright with his view, and by the time he'd finished, he totally convinced me that I should do that as well, because he was on about the people who work at the club, the people who care for the club. At first he didn't really know much about them, and now, you know, he feels he wants to protect them and fight for them and look after them and care for them because of the club's history, what he wants to do about that, and, you know, the 40th most successful club in English history. They're one of the early ones as well, and, you know, one of the only ones to have 4 seasons at home and never losing in all the divisions, and I believe that's down to the passion of the supporters and how they care about their club. And for me, it seems just a fantastic fit, and none more so than that Ken got 6 years, and they still wanted him to keep building and keep building, and I've got to commit to a way of playing. I don't expect the lads to do it this week or next week or the week after, but, you know, that's what I commit to. My philosophy is of a way of playing I think's modern, and John buys into that, Andy buys into that, and, you know, as I say, even if the worst happens and I can't turn it around, because I've learnt from when I went to Leicester that I might not be able to stop it. They understand that, and I'm going to try and mop up what I can and take the thing where I want it to go. And, you know, I don't think I've ever had support like that. So the initial thing I want to do is keep us up and then try and get us up. But in reality, I want to do it in a way that I'm proud of, that people will come here and people will talk about maybe a slightly different Millwall instead of what their mind lingers back to in the past. Because I'd like to say that we had a problem in society then, which a lot of people from different clubs, unfortunately, thought they could use football as a vehicle to be violent. You know, so from my point of view, I think that this club has been tarnished, and there's lots of other clubs who had that, and it went to different countries as well. And now I don't feel we've got that. So, you know, hopefully I can actually add a way of playing that will make people want to spend money on, to grow the crowd, to to build and be proud of something else about Millwall. But for me, the passion is completely and utterly, undoubtedly, what keeps me going, and that's what reignited me right now. I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't wait for Saturday, and you know, whatever happens, I'm ready. Got my tin hat on and ready to go.
Previous manager was set with problems associated with his allegiance to his previous club. You've come from a rival as well, probably not as fierce, but it could be difficult for you. How do you expect to manage that?
Was I there long enough for it to matter or not? You know?
You got to Wembley, I mean, you'll always be on the street.
Yeah, well, I've done that with QPR as well, where I got them back up. So, you know, I've got decent history with 2 London clubs. Why can't I make that a 3rd? So, as I say, I'm the king is dead, long live the king, and that's, you know, that's what football's all about, really. We know what we're doing, and I can't wait to get started with starting a new chapter of my life with this set of supporters, because if I can give my passion to them, I'll definitely get their passion, and I want the players to respond to that, and that's the hardest thing in this life at the moment. Getting players to understand why they're at a football club, what the amounts of money they're earning, and what that means to the supporters sat there, who will never change. Managers change, players move clubs, but supporters never ever do. So we have a duty to them to play with a pride and a passion that they deserve. So that's my starting point. And when things have been going wrong, and you've got quite a new squad, and you've made quite a few changes, as I did a couple of months ago, it's very, very difficult to get all that going, but hopefully I've started. I've only seen them twice so far, and I can't wait to see them tomorrow.
You know how difficult it is to keep a club in this division. You mentioned your Leicester experience. Are you confident you can keep this club in the division? They're not doomed, are they? They're not in the bottom three.
Even if we were in the bottom three, we wouldn't be doomed. I mean, we've got more than enough games left, but you know, fundamentally we're doing the 2 worst things you could ever do wrong. We're letting in too many goals and we're not scoring enough, so you know, don't get much worse than that really. But to be honest with you, I think if you can look at that and say, well, what we've done so far, is it good enough? What are we going to do to change it? We've got a new manager now, and hopefully I can rub off on them with a little bit of enthusiasm. I think the most important thing, no one likes losing. No one in the world wants to be a footballer and suffer how we suffered last weekend. But you know, in all reality, we had a fella sent off, played the teams towards the top of their league who were confident, and you know, we got no manager. So you know, they got enough excuses, haven't they? They've had a few excuses. So let's see if I can make a difference and start immediately. It would be nice to get off to a good run, but we got more than enough games. But for me, long term, I want everybody to know that the fact that even if we don't, this is a project for me. You know, I don't walk in the Tottenham and have to win here and there, because I've got to build things. I've always done it in my career. I took over QPR when they were in administration. That wasn't easy, but I put them back in the same division 3 years later on half the budget. That's the truth. That's a fact. So took Blackpool up with half everybody else's budget. Nearly kept them there. Palace took over, lost 5 players, five staff. Lost my chief scout. Had to sell my best player and borrow him back because the rumours were killing him. Lost my centre forward and still won the playoffs. So, and I think they'll be all right. I even recommended the bloke who should take over for them. So what more does anybody want me to do, you know? So all I can do is do my best, and I think this gentleman and John, I believe, have spotted that in me, and they knew about it anyway from Ken, because Ken and I did an unbelievable job. I'll never forget when I called him over when I was at QPR, and I said, Ken, I can't guarantee paying you, mate, but do you fancy taking this on with me? We've only got 7 players. The other 2 we've got are injured, and I've got to ask for a bar of soap off the administrator, so I can't even guarantee. He said, no problem. So, you know, we got together through a friend of ours, a mutual friend, Gary Penwise, put us together, and even with six games to go in the season where we got promoted, Ken, I couldn't get him a contract. I begged them to please give this bloke a contract, and they didn't, so he went to Swansea, and I carried on my own. But I was pleased he got something. Other people, sometimes in football you don't recognise what someone's doing until they're gone, and I knew what Ken was doing, and I knew how special he was, and he's very similar in his beliefs to me. I believe he was really successful there, and I believe I can do that with these people's support. That's all you ever need, really.
You mentioned support. Will you be given any kind of budget in this window to try and strengthen the squad?
Yeah, I want to try and see where they are first. We've got lots of talented players and lots of experienced players, and probably too many. I've told them that. I can't pick a team with all of them in it, so what are they like when they sit on the bench and they're not playing and we're losing, you know? So I've got to get them to buy into what I'm talking about as a attitude to have, and I've already said that up front, and I'll have a good look at it. But you know, at the minute I want to try and talk about Huddersfield. I can't get anybody in until that game. I've already picked a team. I knew what that was this morning, and we're going to have a friendly amongst ourselves next week, so I can see them all play, and then straight away we've got to go, because this window's open, isn't it? But the great thing about the Championship is it stays open for, so it's not quite as cutthroat, not quite as difficult as the Premier League.
Can I just ask you? I must ask you about Thomas Hitzelsberger, big revelation yesterday. Historic in lots of ways. What did you make of it?
I couldn't even tell you what on earth you're talking about, mate.
He's come out. He's gay.
Is he? Well, if you look at the facts, 1 in 4, is it?
Probably, yeah.
How many of us are in this room? Is it a surprise? No. Do I really care? No. I think I don't care what anybody or who anybody sleeps with. It's none of my business. So as long as he's a good footballer, I'm very proud that he can actually be who he wants to be, and he should be very proud of himself, because you know we don't ask to be here, we end up here, and I hope he finds someone who makes him happy, to be honest, because we're not designed to be on our own as a human being, and if he finds solace in a male's company, I don't really care. I hope he finds someone like that, and if that shocks people, I don't really care about that either, you know. So it's none of my business. Get on with it. Hope you're happy, son. And wonderful left foot. What's wrong with that? I mean, how do we judge people? He's got a fantastic left foot. Does that make it any different? No, not in my book.
Do you think you'll ever see a player come out during their career though, or is that just still too difficult?
I think, well, if it does, then the banter will change a little bit, because that's all it is, particularly if you come here. I remember what they used to shout at me when I was trying to take a corner, I'll tell you if you want. I don't want you to print it though, but it was something about a nose and how big mine was. You know, you're going to take out that front row side if you turn around too quick. And I always knew my nose was larger than most, or longer than most other people's, but when you hear that many people say it, luckily for me, I had a bit about me, and I told them to shut their face, and I crossed it, and we scored. So, yeah, and that's the test, isn't it? But you know, as I say, it's crowds. As long as it's friendly and the banter is good, it can be quite intimidating. And I think when you go to another club, you'll get that, and it's just dealing with it. Really, I think it will be a thing of the future, and you know, I think we'll all get over it. To be perfectly honest with you, I think. We're breaking boundaries all the time. I have to say the lady lines person is probably one of the best out there. I have to say that. Every time you analyse it on the TV, she's never wrong. What does that tell us men about women? They're never wrong, are they? Right up. See how I got away with that? She was a cashmere cotton. Has anyone else got a question? Because me and AD have known each other for quite a while. But if you got another question, AD, you're doing all right, son. Nobody else? Or did you all come in here and give AD your questions? Did you?
How long would you like to stay at Millwall? Would you like to stay here for a number of years like Kenny was? We spoke about it a bit earlier.
Absolutely, yeah, totally and utterly. I want to build something. It's going to take me a while. I want a culture, a way of playing, and I want to be brave. And I believe you have to master the football wherever you get it, wherever it goes. You have to be in control of that football, and you can keep it. Luckily, when I went to Blackpool, I signed one who could do that, which was Charlie. David Vaughan was already taught by Dario Gradi to do that, and Keith Southern took to it like a duck to water through midfield, and the defenders were comfortable with the ball. So, you know, I want to, that's my gospel, that's my Bible, that's what I believe in, and hopefully then I'll keep looking at how the game changes, and I think it has over recent months. If you look at last year, the Germans, they've learnt from what Spaniards were doing, and they press you higher up now, and it's a big thing, it's a huge task, and I just got to hold on to my enthusiasm and make sure I give them one little bit at a time, because it will take a time. But you know, I'm fully committed, and I'm embarrassed that as an English coach we can't keep the ball like other teams and other countries and we have to do that. That's got to be to us, for us to make our English players better players and have the ball. And I don't think Barcelona just got lucky. I think they bought into something and they did it, and they produced their own players. And now, are they that good because they're just world class, or were they made to be world class? So I'd like people in 10 years' time to say, what a job Holloway's done with Andy Ambler and John, and look at the football they play now, and look at the way they pass the ball, and look at how many have they got in the England team. Why not?
And with people like Andy and John, they'll give you time, won't they, to build something here?
Well, can I say something? They asked me if I wanted it from now until the summer, because they were almost prepared to do whatever I wanted. Right? And I said, I don't want just that. I want a longer term situation that I can, because my relationships last. And that's what I want. So I think that was, I think you liked that, didn't you?
Yep.
Ian, can I just ask you about the relationship the club has with Prostate Cancer UK? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I understand you've sponsored us, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. And what I want to do is try and I wear this everywhere. I've actually got one pinned on my chest as well, which hurt a little bit. But no, it's a fantastic job you do. And if you can save just one male of the species who might be too embarrassed to go and say, I've got a bit of a problem here, and because we are a little bit stilted, and it's a bit of a masculine thing. Ladies, we don't like really thinking we could possibly be ill anyway, but you know, hopefully you raise awareness, and if people can stop dying from this, then that's fantastic for me, and you're doing a fantastic job, so hopefully we can raise awareness and all get checked out, because apparently if you get checked you can stop it, is that right? If you get checked early enough and
Catch
you
it
find
early enough, hopefully, yeah.
Is that nearly every time?
This is your launch run prostate cancer stuff. Yeah, as you said, the big
please
challenge
don't.
here is to make sure that men are aware of the disease, and everyone at the club's done a brilliant job for Prostate Cancer UK.
How many
It's great that
people
you're
die
part
a year
this.
of it?
10,000 men in the UK die every year of prostate cancer, one man every hour.
And if we all got checked, would that stop?
Many of the men who are diagnosed, if they're diagnosed early enough, would have a better chance of survival.
Well, there you are. Go and get checked, all of you. I'm going. Not right now. That's not a question.